Hi, this is Natalie Rice. We're here from sportsreview.com. Now, day one of the US Open is in the bag. Day two is underway. And joining me right now is Joao Morato from mgtennistipster.com to run through the favourites and the best plays for tomorrow's action. Now, let's start with the men's signals. Who are the main favourites that will play tomorrow, and how do you expect them to perform?
Tomorrow there are two main favorites that will get on action. Novak Djokovic will face Andreas Heider-Maurer from Austria. Djokovic had a very good performance in his first match against João Sousa from Brazil. He won 6-1, 6-1, 6-1. Didn't face a single break point during all the match, with 24 winners, 7 unforced errors, and was able to break his opponent 7 times. Andreas Heider-Maurer is more a clay court player. He was a heavy underdog in his first match against Vasek Pospisil. The Canadian was leading 2-1 after the first 3 sets. However, he was starting to struggle physically with a lot of cramps and lost the 4th set 6-0, and the 5th 6-1 was really in a bad shape, and he just decided not to quit, but he just couldn't compete. Andreas Heider-Maurer is a consistent baseline player. Like I said, prefers to play on clay, has a decent serve, but he doesn't have much to bother Djokovic. They played this year in Monte Carlo on clay, where the Serbian won 6-4, 6-0. And if Djokovic is able for the task, he should get an easy win. Andreas Heider-Maurer doesn't get many first serves in. On first round, he got only 51%, and usually he doesn't get more than 55%. So we'll give too many chances for Djokovic on second serve. The Serbian wants to be fresh for the later stages. He has struggled a little physically in last 2 tournaments, so he should win this easily in straight sets and covering his handicap line and minus 10.5 at 1.90. The other main favorite that will get on action on the men's draw tomorrow, it's Rafael Nadal against Diego Schwartzman from Argentina. Nadal hasn't been also at his best this year, struggled with some physical problems, and his game level has decreased. However, in this tournament, he started with a very good match against Borna Coric from Croatia. He made 40 winners, 31 unforced errors. On the 3rd set, he played a little worse, lost that set 6-4, but still a very positive performance from the Spanish. And what was more impressive on him was his first serve. He managed to play 72% first serve in, winning 88% of points with his first ball, and was also very aggressive, trying to come very often to the net, winning 16 of 17 points at the net. The main problem for Rafa was his second serve, very attackable, only won 36% with his second serve, and when he faces more powerful opponents who can attack that second serve, he's in big troubles. However, Schwartzman isn't a very powerful player. He's a short player, clay court, baseline solid, but he doesn't have big weapons. He relies on his intensity, on his consistency, but when he faces higher level players, he just doesn't have much on his game to bother Nadal. He might be able to level one set and a half, but Nadal should win this also with comfortable margins. They played once on clay 6-2, 6-2 to Rafa, and he should be able to cover his spread at minus 9.0, 2.01.
So what would you say the best plays of the day are for tomorrow?
Tomorrow there are 2 top plays for the men's draw. The first is Fernando Verdasco against Milos Raonic. Raonic has struggled with a foot injury. He had to make a surgery recently after Wimbledon, missing Davis Cup. And then he returned in Rogers Cup, where he lost in first round against Karlovic. Then in Cincinnati, also lost in first rounds against Feliciano Lopez. And one of the things that he has been struggled the most is his first serve. Only got 49% in first round against Tim Smishek. Usually he gets around 60%, 62%. And with this lower level of serves, he's in big trouble and very vulnerable. He won against Smishek 6-4, 7-6, 6-1, was very close from losing the second set, also giving too many opportunities for the American to break him. However, Smishek has been very poor lately and wasn't able to take advantage of any of the 6 breakpoint chances he had. About Verdasco, he's a very talented player, a great returner, and has a very good left-handed forehand. But his biggest problem is clearly his head. He struggles to be consistent during his matches, mentally very unstable, and once again he showed that in his first round matches, where he was a big favorite against Tommy Yaz. However, made things harder for him and needed 5 sets to win it. But ended at very good level with 6-1 on the fifth set. The head-to-head is 3-all. Raonic won the three they played on hard court, while Verdasco won the three previous on clay. On the three matches from Raonic, only one of them was in straight sets in 2011, where he won 7-6, 7-6. So this should be a pretty close contest. Adding to this, Raonic struggling with his foot, still not at his best shape, while Verdasco has clearly the game to bother him. And at 3.41, Verdasco is clearly a bet with extreme value. The other play for tomorrow's man is Grigor Dimitrov against Mikhail Kukushkin. Dimitrov hasn't also been at his best lately, however, has been improving. I liked very much how he played against Murray in Cincinnati, very close from beating him, much more aggressive with the forehand, and that's probably the biggest problem for Dimitrov is to be aggressive. Sometimes he just plays too passive behind the baseline, too defensive, and gets too vulnerable. But when he's more offensive with a more offensive mindset, he can be very dangerous. He is one of our picks to go early, to go further on this tournament, and he can do very well, especially after the loss of Kei Nishikori. His chances to reach semi-final are even higher. He got a first round solid win against Matthew Ebden in straight sets. While Kukushkin has been far from his best, he even started the year very well, reaching Sydney's final. But after that, his level has decreased, only 3 wins in 9 matches on hard court. And this week his win doesn't say much. He defeated Yensun Lu, but Lu was injured on his back, had retired in the previous week, and this week only came to this tournament so he could collect the money from the prize money from the first round, and he retired in the third set. Kukushkin needs to be in his top game to be able to create problems to top players, and he hasn't been at that level lately. So Dimitrov has a better serve, can make more damage with his ground strokes, and also he should use his backhand slice to cut the pace, and that will bother for sure Kukushkin. The handicap line is at 6.5 for Dimitrov at 1.90, and I think the Bulgarian can cover that line.
Okay, so there you have it, the top plays for tomorrow's tennis action. That was Joao from mgtennistipster.com. Don't forget he will be with us every day covering the best plays for the next day, offering some top tips there. Also, don't forget to head on over to our Twitter account, SBR Sports Picks, for our daily live in-play betting. The link is in the description below. Joao, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Natalie.